Okay, hello there,
Okay.
Maria.
Hello.
Thank you very much for offering to do this. I'm sure it's
It's
going to
all
be
right.
really helpful for other people
Yeah.
going through similar experiences.
Mm.
So, where would you like to start? Do you want to start at the beginning? And it's up to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess when I was born, no. Um, so I suppose really, yeah, it was only I was 26 and only in my first no second job. And I started getting repetitive strain injury, it
Right.
was termed at the time.
Yeah.
So working on the computer, I started in one wrist. And
Mm.
then I thought, oh, it's to do with the mouse. And then it went up my
Probably.
arm.
Yeah.
Then it went up the other arm. And then I was getting already before that pain in my neck and headaches.
Right.
And I felt, yeah, real loads of tension in my shoulders. And it would kind of, it would come on, and then I'd do a bit of resting, and
Yeah.
then it would get worse again. And I was, yeah, because of my personality,
Yeah.
wanting to do loads. So I was, although I had only just finished my MSc in health psychology and was doing what I'd planned to do, didn't enjoy it. And I was already thinking, well, I'm going to train in something else then. I was training, I'd already done massage.
Right.
Uh, I was then on to reflexology, and I was doing that. So I was working full time on a computer. Then I was doing reflexology.
Wow.
So I was
And a
doing a hell of a
master's.
lot. Sorry.
And a master's.
Oh no, I'd finished that.
All right. Okay. That's bad enough. Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, so I just thought, oh, it's physical.
Yeah.
I'm just doing too much. And it just came and went. And then now, what made it just terrible was, and I know what happened. Now I can look back and
Yeah.
go, I know what happened. The woman in HR
Yeah.
said to me, she'd given me this bit of equipment that was meant to help my pain. And then she said to me, now watch out, because my daughter, this is
Um,
RSI, my daughter had RSI. She's still got it. It's permanent.
oh,
So
belief
my,
on.
yeah, I know. So honestly, it was that day I went home,
Yeah.
and my fear went through the roof. My pain was
Mm.
huge.
Yep.
It was so huge. I couldn't move. Well, just any movement brought it on, just the touch of anything
Just
on my
goes to
arms.
show, doesn't it, how just mere words from somebody you trust can have such a big
Yeah,
impact. Mm.
huge. And I didn't see that then.
No, you wouldn't.
I just thought, she's
People
right.
do.
She's right.
Yeah.
This is, and then
Wow.
all, yeah, it was just everything, every movement hurt. And I remember just immediately feeling just terrible mentally. I had to
Yeah.
take 2 weeks off work. I meditated at the time. Meditation, yeah, I would meditate, and then that would help a bit.
Hmm.
um Nothing else would work. No medication, anything.
Yeah.
um and I remember, see, yeah, and then I can look back and go, oh, I know why this happened. A few weeks later, I went on holiday. I felt suddenly pain free.
Were you aware at that point?
No,
No. Isn't it funny?
just
Oh, no,
thought,
we're not.
oh, this is me physically resting,
Yes, of
that
course.
suddenly I'm
Of course,
feeling
yes.
better. So I couldn't go back to work without, I had dictation software.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
and even sitting, um I was trying, yeah, and the dictation software at the time was pretty basic.
Yes.
I had to talk like
Oh,
this.
no.
And I was doing data analysis and stuff. So
Wow.
it was tricky, and it stressed me. And even not using the computer, but using the dictation software, I'd get pain in my arms and think that's weird. Um,
And presumably during this time you weren't able to do your massage or reflexology.
no, well,
Mm,
I finished, of course, being who I am, I finished my exam in pain.
right.
Um, and then that was it. I couldn't practice. So
Yeah.
I felt terrible. I felt like, great, now I'm stuck in this job because I can use dictation software doing this. I'm stuck in this job, can't do what I really wanted to do.
Mm,
Um, I then tried, I went down the route of trying everything. I tried physiotherapy,
yeah.
that didn't help. Osteopathy, cranial osteopathy, chiropractic, Alexander technique, healing, um, kinesiology,
Yeah.
herbs.
Focused on the physical problem, basically.
Yeah,
Mm,
tried everything and nothing worked. Acupuncture helped a bit in the short term
mhm.
and a bit of meditation again, short term. And it just, it was really just terrible. I could hardly, I was just moving in with my now husband,
Mhm.
then boyfriend who'd we'd been together a year.
Right.
And I was moving in with him and thinking, great, now he's got this girlfriend that
Dear.
can't do anything, like I couldn't do any cleaning. Oh dear.
Oh, what a shame.
But no, but it did put stress on the
Of course it
relationship,
did. Of
really. He
course it
suddenly
did.
had to do all, the cooking, and then I was
Wow.
thinking, and it went on years, and then I was thinking, what am I going to do when I have children? It's just so stressful. And it was like gradually over many years, it got a bit better,
Right.
slightly. So I went from like hardly just even being able to, yeah, just driving 20 minutes would bring on pain, just
Right.
drying my hair, bring on
Mm,
pain, cooking everything to, many years later, it was more, I could be pain free,
right.
and I could do things as long as I had to work out, how much have I got to do,
Yes.
and just balance everything I did.
Yeah.
But I just felt like that's it. I was told that I was told all sorts of weird things. Oh, your neck's too long. That was the cause of my pain. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I was told that, and I have got severe stenosis in my neck.
Right.
That's a fact.
Hmm.
And they said it was all referred pain.
Okay.
But
Well, that needs a
obviously,
better explanation than a long neck.
I know. Can you shorten it?
You
No.
get surgery to cut it off and shorten
Yeah,
it.
I know.
Oh gosh.
And so I really felt like there's nothing I can do. Just have to accept it, go on. So life went on,
Mm.
and
Oops.
and then age 39,
Wow.
then came the knee pain, and
Oh,
uh, yeah. So then, and it was, and you know what? It was the first pain. The fact I had chronic pain already. When this other pain came on, it's like I consciously went, oh, after it had been there a few months, this is exactly like the arm pain.
right.
I could see a process going on. It was like, this feels the same.
Mm.
And I
Okay.
could tell it's really weird because I could tell the difference between the short term phase
Hmm.
and then suddenly when it went into when it had been there a while, it just changed. It changed. It was very weird because I started.
Right.
So what happened was it was in some kind of class like Zumba or something. I felt something under my kneecap, one side, and then a day or two later, it was both sides. So I thought, well, this is weird, but I must have injured myself. The doctor said it's tendonitis
Okay.
and you'll get better in 6 to 8 months. Even then, I was thinking it won't.
Straight months.
Sorry, 6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, right. Whew.
Sorry, yeah. Um, and then it went from localized knee to all the way up my legs. It was into, yeah, and then I had really tight IT bands, and my quads would really be painful, and my hamstrings, and it would move around. It would do the typical neuroplastic
Yeah.
thing of moving around,
And in the
and I,
meantime, were your arms still painful?
yeah,
Yeah, because sometimes one eases off, doesn't it? But not always.
yeah, and that was the thing. Because, and I kept noticing, and I'd think, it's like I'd get a big flare for one of the other. So
Right.
I'd get really sore pain in the arms, but never the knees at the same time. And then it would
Ah,
switch. I'd
okay.
get
So it
both
was
pains at once, but it was when it was extreme in one, it was never in the other.
right.
And I
Yes.
would think I'd notice it and think that's really weird. And then again I tried all of the therapies again,
Yep.
never gave up, and and nothing really worked, and it just makes you feel like such a failure.
Mm. Yes, I can
Because
imagine.
even I found, I'd go to physiotherapy and think, oh, I'll try this other physiotherapist, and then I found one that specialized in knee pain, and he
Right.
told me, if you do this, he told me to gently increase my activity and
Hmm.
gave me exercises because of course my knee, the my muscles were weak. Well, of course
Mm.
they were. I'm not walking.
Yes.
And that's all I needed to do,
Yeah.
strengthen the muscles. And so I did that, and then it still wasn't working. And I felt like I'm a failure. I haven't done
Yeah.
it properly.
Yep.
And then it started to spread. It would be like when he said to continue walking even if I had pain.
Hmm.
And and I was so fearful of doing damage.
Yes, of course.
And then I would get shin pain as well. It spread down there, and
Surprise.
I was so fearful. And even my husband would say that when you make it worse by fearing it, and you're bringing it on even
Yeah.
before you've done something. And I could see that, and I was thinking that, okay, I've got real physical pain, but my brain is switching it up, and I can't
Yeah.
control that. And
Yeah. But
but even
you were
though,
connecting some dots at that point.
yes,
Good.
yeah, yeah. And I even, because that's the weird thing. My MSc dissertation was kind of mind body related,
Right.
and I had because I when I got the knee pain, I was studying to be a hypnotherapist,
Right.
and then I did my mindfulness, and I could notice when I was sometimes the mindfulness would help, like my pain would go, and
Right.
I would notice things like that. And I was reading around the subject in mind body work, and I found some work. Oh God, yeah, I found Dr. Sarno's book.
Mm-hmm. Were
This
you
is
ready for it?
no,
I thought you could say.
no, because I think this is before the knee pain came on.
Right.
I kept the book.
Yeah.
I didn't, I usually get rid of books, but I kept that book.
Ah.
And there was something, I did read into the journaling. I tried the journaling for a very short time, but I just didn't, because I was so fixed on this is a physical
Yeah.
issue.
You weren't ready
I
mentally.
really, and I
Mm.
think, and the science wasn't there at the time.
No. Mm. True.
My background being, oh, I've got to know the science, even though
Yeah.
I've tried all these other things. Um, so yeah, I just kind of missed all of that.
Mm. Oh, it's
Yeah,
common. Quite common.
yeah, yeah, uh, and yeah, and it's such, it has such a huge impact on your mental health.
Mm. Mm. Of course.
Especially then, I felt like, great, I've got knee pain, I've got arm pain,
Mm.
and I think, yeah, the knees were even worse because I couldn't take the kids places. And I felt like I could get around a lot of things with my arms, but
Mhm.
we, yeah, I didn't want to impact the family. I felt like
Mm.
now weekends are boring, we can't do anything, and
Yeah.
it's all my fault.
Yeah. It's a
And
lot of guilt building up as well.
yeah, and I feel so angry.
Yeah.
I was so angry,
Mm.
and I really struggled, and I had anxiety from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But that was linked back to what had happened before the pain
Right.
as well. But I just felt like, because that had a major trauma like a year before my knee pain,
Right.
and I just felt like I hadn't recovered. And of
Yes.
course I hadn't. I understand it all,
Yeah.
why I had the pain now. All makes sense.
Yes.
Um, and then I yeah, have to thank my son, because I kept hearing about podcasts, and then my son said to me, "Oh, there's this podcast. It was on something else, Egypt or something." And he said, "Look, you have to listen to this podcast. It might interest you." And I was like, "How do I listen to podcasts? I don't know of this phenomenon. It's modern stuff." And so I downloaded an app, and I then started looking at, podcasts.
Yeah.
What could I be interested in? And I looked up health stuff,
Fabulous.
and then I looked up chronic pain, and I came across Nicole Sachs,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw she's got loads of followers. This must be amazing.
Yes.
I listened to one, and I must say, I thought, sounds a bit rubbish. Where's the science? And I was like, I want to know the science. You can't just tell me this works. So
Yes.
then I found the curable one.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember what it's called.
The Curable
But
podcast, you mean?
tell me about your pain.
Oh,
Is that the
yes.
one?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And that was brilliant. So
Mm-hmm.
it explained all the science, and then I had to get all the books.
Of course.
so
So
so I
your
read,
personality's coming out in all this, and now you
yes,
create so much self-induced stress.
yeah. So then I had to read probably three or four books,
Yeah.
and yeah, study it all. And it was like, yeah, I remember feeling so emotional, thinking, oh my gosh,
Yes.
this is it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was too scared, because I likened it to snakes and ladders, because I'd felt like I'd make a bit of progress, I'd find a
Yes.
new therapist, I'd make a bit of progress, I'd get
Yes.
excited, and then I'd get pain, and then now notice what it was is pain, yes, then I'd get fear,
Yes.
and then it would get worse, and then I'd go right back down.
And that's why so many people struggle with the hope side of it because they've had hope before.
Yeah,
Yeah. Then the
yeah.
dashed. So yes, I get that.
And I was so scared of trying something new.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is that I thought, if I try this and it doesn't work, then I've got nothing.
You're not the first person who's told me that.
So even I could tell that I was even putting off starting,
Yeah.
because I felt like, here I've got this positive place of thinking something could help.
Mm. Mm.
And I remember, yeah, sitting down and explaining it all to my husband, because I thought I need him to be on side.
Yeah.
And I've done all of this stuff. I'd had knee injections.
Right.
I and that had actually made me worse. And
Okay.
I was already talking about stem cell treatment.
Wow. Okay.
I'd spent thousands and thousands on treatments, and I was dreading him going, "Oh, not another one of your
Yes.
strange things." And I was amazed, because he said, "Wow, after all of the silly things that you've tried, and I've thought they're never going to work, this actually makes sense."
Wonderful. So good
He's
to
a
have
very
somebody to
logical
understand it.
person.
Great.
And
That's
I thought, oh my
helpful.
gosh, he
Yes.
believes in it too. And he was like, wow, that. And yeah, and I told him about the personality traits, and he was, yes.
Yeah.
Mm. And so still I didn't, yeah, because I noticed initially I got some improvement.
Mhm.
I noticed, because I just noticed what I'd be doing. Like, I'd notice I'd start to catastrophize,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that, I can't do this tomorrow because I've walked a mile today,
Yeah.
So therefore I can't walk tomorrow because I would be, I
Too
already
much.
decided I'd be
Yes.
in too much pain, because
Yes.
sometimes I could walk a mile, sometimes I couldn't. And even just being stood for a short time would cause pain. And
Right.
um so I thought, right, eventually I did. What did I do? Well, I waited because I was so busy with work
Hmm.
before Christmas, and I decided that the next year I was going to start afresh.
Yeah.
And I'm starting that year saying, this is the year I'm going to prioritize me.
Yep.
And I'm not going to I'm not going to give myself a time limit.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I'm prioritizing my health, and I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to put everything
Yeah.
into doing this kind of work. And
Okay.
I decided quite quickly that I needed a one-to-one.
Yeah.
It's part of it was I've got to, after nobody being there with me, helping me, it's just like I really need somebody to be on my side.
Absolutely. Yes.
I need somebody to believe in me
Yeah.
and to say, yes, Maria, this is not physical. So
Yeah.
I found I didn't know about SIRPA then, and
Uh,
I found PRT. I found a PRT coach,
yeah.
um, and booked 12 sessions, and then and I knew that because I was really struggling to get down to the journaling, like most people,
Yeah.
really didn't like it. And I thought, if I'm working with somebody, I will do my homework.
Yes. Quite. Absolutely. Accountability.
Yes, yeah. Um, so it was working with her that was the game changer. It was like, yes, Maria, you have no physical basis for your pain. And it was like I made this mental note of when I started, that's it. We're not questioning anymore, Maria.
Yeah.
I was very
Well
strict
done.
with myself.
Yeah.
Do not question, do not Google, just
That's
focus
so
on.
important to reach that
Mm,
point because it's not an
yeah,
intellectual exercise, is it? And it's about, okay,
no,
when is enough enough? Okay, let's now
yeah,
just let go and go with the flow. Yeah.
yeah. And I had to do that. And I think really I had to reach that point
Yes.
of
Oh,
just, I've
good.
tried everything else.
Yes.
And I think it was also getting to, because I got to 50 years old, and I
Right.
think because my knee pain came up like when I was before 40, and I remember I didn't want to celebrate 40, and I got to 50 and I thought, sod it.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not spending the rest of my life in pain.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do something about it.
Good for
Um,
you. Mm.
and so I really, I just went all in, and I did I remember, doing my affirmations every morning. I'd go outside because it was the spring, summer. I'd go outside barefoot, do earthing and
Yeah.
do affirmations, and meditated every day.
Mhm.
And I just prioritize me, not
Mm.
giving myself too much work.
And I think
Uh,
meditation alongside the understanding that your symptoms are mind body rather than that they're
yes,
physical, how will have that
yeah.
different impact on you anyway.
Yeah, and I did the meditation, because I had the Curable app. So I
Mm-hmm.
did meditations on there. And I also did meditations that it was all body based, and it
Wonderful.
was with a sense of feeling into my emotions.
Wonderful. So more somatic emotional awareness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
wonderful.
I found that was key. And then I realized, because it was, and the journaling, that was bringing up all of the past
Mm.
stuff, and dealing with that,
Yeah.
which I needed to do. So I
Mm-hmm.
saw it. I see the whole healing process. It's not about just healing your body.
No,
It's about healing you.
absolutely. Yes. And then
So it
working
wasn't
on
just,
ways that we create self-induced stress. So I
yes,
presume you
so
start
much.
exploring your personality, learn behaviors and those things. Because
Yeah,
it's not like we have to change, is it? It's about understanding why we are like that, and then starting to use this emotional awareness to notice when
Yeah.
we're starting to cause ourselves stress because of it. And then by doing that, we
Yeah.
can start changing things and start actually strengthening, just pausing at that point and changing the direction that we'd go in, and strengthening the healthier neural circuits.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, started to talk to myself in better, more positive
Yes,
ways.
self-compassion. Excellent.
Compassion and self-soothing.
Yeah.
And being aware, I realized that I had been repressing, and that repressing a whole load of anger, but just also had to get in touch with emotions more. So I would spend time every day going, doing a meditation and just kind of saying to my body, right, show me what emotion you're feeling.
Yes.
What is it? Being open to receive any,
and presumably
usually a
still
negative
do
one.
that. I certainly
Yes.
still do that on a daily basis, virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's
now,
not about just dealing with chronic pain. It's about health and wellness and maintaining that and preventing the stress-induced conditions.
yeah. And now, because I'm right near the end of my embodied processing course.
Lovely. Yeah.
So, because I, of course, started training with SIRPA after I overcome the pain. Yeah, it was like, as soon as the pain was practically gone, it was like, right, now I'm going to train.
Yes. Got to
It was
use
straight on. I'm going to train to help other people to do this.
And isn't it, don't you find it difficult to, not difficult, but do you find that when you're doing work like embodied processing or SIRPA work, the idea is to do it for us as well. But even if we're doing a course, maybe not SIRPA or EP, but if we're doing a course, learning a new meditation or learning a new something for ourselves, there's always that voice going, oh, I could use this in my work. So it's very hard to just keep things personal, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah.
But that's
Everything.
wonderful, because the more we work with it and understand it ourselves, the more we can empathize with our clients and be able to support them as well.
Oh, definitely. Because I think, when I started out doing the hypnotherapy, I've totally changed direction now based on my experience, the SIRPA training, and now my embodied processing.
Yeah.
It's changed, the way I approach that completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's your life like now?
Just, free. I'd never say no. We're never free of any pain, are we? Because we get stuff come up.
We're
human.
Normal stresses that everybody has.
Yeah. So, it went from hardly being able to do anything. And I so missed my aerobics, because that was my way of mentally. I found it, because after I went through this major traumatic event, I found aerobics was so helpful, and going out for long walks. It was part of what I needed for my mental health. So,
and then you lost
as soon as I started, so I gradually increased the walking, and then it went to, right, we're going to go out. So we can go out on long hikes.
Yeah, fabulous.
That's our thing. Going out walking all the time, enjoying. Just, I feel so appreciative of my body.
Yes.
And I now want to keep it really fit and healthy, probably healthier than I was before.
Yes.
Now I'm doing aerobics, and I've got a sewing group that I run.
Oh, lovely.
We get together and we knit. Well, it's kind of crafting and stuff. So
that's fabulous.
Just back to normal life, and I can do everything. I don't need my dictation software anymore.
Yeah.
And
not having to pace yourself or worry about.
No, not having to pace myself at all. Just do everything that I want. And very occasionally I'll get something, some kind of symptom, and I go, aha.
Yes.
I see now it's so different because I don't go into the catastrophizing
Quite.
and I'd be like touching it and, oh, what's that
Checking
feel
it.
like?
Yes.
Checking it all the
Yeah.
time. Now
Yeah.
it's, okay, how am I feeling?
Yeah.
What's going on right now?
And that's life. That's the mind body, isn't it? It's just completely connected. It's about by doing that, then we don't lead into chronic symptoms. But this is just a message from the body. And at first, I think you'd agree, at first it's quite challenging to not go. Well, initially we do go into that fear when we first resolved it and go, oh, it's coming back, or oh, and then you've got to deliberately and consciously go, no, okay. Whereas like you've just said, now it's like, okay, if you do get something, it's like, oh, okay, what's going on in my life, how am I feeling, etc. Fabulous. So if you were going to give, let's finish off with maybe you giving a couple of main points about your recovery, or about what you'd recommend for people going through similar things, what would you say?
I would say, get educated. Get educated. And it's put in just do a bit every day of doing something. And it's like, I had to focus on me making myself better rather than I've got to do this to make my pain go. It would be, no, I'm doing this meditation to make you feel better.
Yes.
I'm doing this because I don't want to be catastrophizing. Talking to myself better, noticing all of the different things I would be telling myself before, like, oh, I don't want to walk across the side of the room to pick that up because I'm going to make my knees hurt.
Wow.
And it's just like catching myself, telling myself all these things and going, no, that's not right. It's my emotions that bring on the pain. Just stay focused on getting yourself a bit better all the time. And for me, it's gently, gently, patiently, imperfectly, because we're not perfect. We don't have to do it perfectly.
And to use the challenges as opportunities for learning even more. Any setbacks? Oh, okay. What have I got to learn now?
I'd always said, oh, what can I learn from this? So it'd be like, okay, what can I learn? Nothing's a failure. What can I learn?
Absolutely.
And I think for me personally, I had to work on forgiveness. So it was doing the journaling and going over the stressful events that had happened and processing all of that, and also with that person involved, forgiving them. That was key to me, because it's in forgiving you are freeing yourself
absolutely
of the burden of the anger. So I completely view it differently.
Wonderful.
And that was key, to just free myself up of this emotional baggage.
It's not
because
really
I don't want it.
No, absolutely. It's not about the other person, really, is it? At this point, however many years later it is.
I know.
It doesn't bother them what you're thinking, but if you are creating a lot of stress for yourself, this is about releasing that from you. Well, thank you so much, Maria. I'm sure this will be really helpful for many people. So, thank you.
Thank you.